Tonight you might be scrolling after work, checking your investing app, wondering why relief still won't arrive yet. If money stress ever followed you into quiet moments, tap like so this reaches someone else tonight too. Comment one word below, started, if you've begun investing, or stuck if you feel behind and confused today. And if you know someone silently carrying money anxiety, share this as kindness, not advice or judgment, please. This channel avoids hype and shame. Subscribe if calm, realistic money talk helps you breathe and think clearly. In the next 20 minutes, I'll show the exact investment order that stops forced selling and builds real progress. Because most people aren't failing at investing. They're stacking the steps in the wrong sequence for years quietly. I learned this the hard way when I was Max, making decent money, investing weekly, still feeling unsafe. On paper, my portfolio grew, but my chest tightened every time a bill appeared or my car made noise. One Thursday, a $1,200 repair hit, and I didn't have a buffer, so I sold investments immediately again. The market happened to be down that week, so I locked in losses and felt stupid for months. I didn't lose because I picked the wrong stock. I lost because I was forced to sell then. That moment taught me a truth nobody posts. Order beats intensity, and stability beats excitement every single time. So let's reset the basics in plain English so any American can follow without finance jargon today easily. First, you need breathing room in your monthly cash flow, even $50 before chasing returns at all costs. Then you build a starter emergency fund, because small surprises are what trigger panic and bad selling later. After that, you grab any employer 401k match, because it's free money with instant upside for most workers. Next comes high-interest debt, especially credit cards, because 20% interest quietly destroys every investment plan fast too. Only then do we expand to a full 3 to 6 month emergency fund, based on your job stability and family. Finally, we automate core investing into simple diversified funds and leave risky plays for last, not first ever. Before we go deeper, take one calm breath, because this is not about guilt, it's about control again. If you've ever invested while feeling fragile, you're normal, because modern life makes small shocks feel huge. The Federal Reserve reports many adults still struggle to cover a $400 emergency without borrowing or selling something. That matters because if a $400 surprise can break you, markets will eventually break your plan too. So step 0 is simple. Stabilize cash flow so your investing decisions aren't made under threat anymore. Write 4 numbers: monthly take-home pay, fixed bills, minimum debt payments, and what's left after essentials. If what's left is negative, investing won't save you. We first create a small monthly margin. Margin can start tiny. Cancel 1 subscription, cook 2 extra meals, or refinance an insurance premium. You're not doing this to be perfect. You're doing it to stop financial surprises from controlling you. Think of margin like oxygen. Without it, every money decision becomes emotional and rushed by default. When Max ignored margin, I kept investing. But one bad month erased weeks of progress instantly. Here's a quick test. If your paycheck is late by 5 days, do you panic today? If yes, your first investment is stability, because compounding only works when you can stay invested. Now, step 1. A starter emergency fund? Not huge. Just enough to stop forced selling quickly. Aim for $500 to $1,500 depending on your situation, because most crises start small, not dramatic. This fund isn't for vacations. It's for tires, copays, broken phones, and unexpected family needs. Keep it in a simple savings account you can access fast, not in stocks, not in crypto. The point is speed and certainty, so you don't sell investments at the worst possible moment again. When Max finally saved my first $1,000 buffer, my anxiety dropped more than any market gain ever did. If you're thinking, but I should invest instead, remember, safety first makes investing sustainable for years. Once your starter buffer exists, you earn the right to talk about investing order without fear hijacking decisions. Step 2 is capturing your employer match, because it's the closest thing to guaranteed return you'll ever get. If your company matches, even partially, contribute enough to get the full match before anything extra. That match is immediate upside, like someone paying you extra salary, but only if you claim it. Many plans match a percentage of your pay. Check your benefits portal or ask HR in one email. Keep it simple. Set contributions on autopilot, then stop thinking about it every week emotionally. Choose a target date fund or broad index option if you're unsure, because simplicity beats perfection early. Max used to overthink funds, but the real problem was missing match and losing free money silently. If you're self-employed, your match is different, but the idea remains. Claim the best incentives first. Now, step 3 is the one people hate. Kill high-interest debt before chasing higher investment returns. Credit card interest has hovered around 20% recently, which can erase years of investing progress fast. If you invest hoping for 8%, but pay 20% interest, you're running uphill in sand. This isn't moral, it's math. And the math is brutally honest in the background every month. Start with either Avalanche, highest APR first, or Snowball, smallest balance first, whichever keeps you consistent. Consistency matters more than the best method, because momentum is what keeps you from quitting again. If shame blocks you, remember, debt is common, but staying stuck is optional once you see the order. Max paid minimums for years while investing, then one emergency forced me to add more debt anyway. That's the trap. Investing without stability often leads back to debt, and the cycle repeats quietly. So break it, buffer, match, then crush high-interest debt with calm focus and weekly small wins. If you want, comment match or debt below so I know which step most viewers need next. Now, step 4 is your full emergency fund, the one that makes layoffs and medical surprises feel survivable. For many people, 3 months of essential expenses is the minimum, but 6 months is safer for variable income. Essential expenses means rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, and minimum debt payments, not entertainment or shopping. This fund isn't exciting, but it prevents the most expensive mistake: panic selling during a downturn again. Think of it like a seatbelt. You rarely celebrate it, yet it saves you when life hits suddenly. Max didn't build this until later, and I paid for that delay with stress and bad choices. When you have 3 to 6 months saved, your nervous system stops treating money as an emergency alarm. That calm lets you invest like an adult, not like someone reacting to every headline and red chart. Step 5 is core investing, the boring stuff that quietly wins. Diversified funds, automated contributions, long-time horizons. If you have access, increase 401k contributions beyond the match, and consider a Roth IRA if eligible. If you're not sure what to pick, choose a low-cost target date fund, because it's built for simplicity. The goal isn't to beat your neighbor. The goal is to build a system you can follow for decades. Automate contributions on payday so discipline becomes invisible, and progress happens while you live your life. If you keep checking daily, you'll feel emotional. If you check quarterly, you'll feel strategic and steady. Max used to stare at charts nightly, but the real wealth came after I stopped making money a drama. Now, step 6 is where people start too early. Taxable investing, real estate plays, single stocks, crypto, options. These can be fine later, but only after your foundation is strong enough to survive mistakes without collapsing. Ask yourself one question. If income stops for a month, will you be forced to sell this? If the answer is yes, it's not an investment. It's a stress trigger waiting for bad timing. So the order is protection first, then growth, then optional risk, and that sequence changes everything long-term. Let's make this crystal clear with a simple ladder so you always know what rung you're standing on. Rung 1 is margin, small monthly breathing room, because investing while drowning turns every dip into fear. Rung 2 is starter cash, $1,000 give or take, so small emergencies don't touch your portfolio. Rung 3 is free money, employer match, because you should never skip guaranteed upside while stressing about picks. Rung 4 is high interest debt. Eliminate it because 20% interest is a thief working full-time. Rung 5 is full emergency fund, 3 to 6 months, adjusted for job security and family responsibilities. Rung 6 is core investing, diversified funds, automated contributions, patience, and the humility to keep it boring. Rung 7 is optional risk, taxable accounts, real estate, crypto, or individual stocks, only when you can endure volatility. Most people jump from Rung 1 to Rung 7 because excitement feels like progress and patience feels slow. But excitement doesn't pay rent when your car breaks, and that's when forced selling ruins compounding quickly. Here's what forced selling really means. You sell assets not because you chose to, but because life demanded cash. Forced selling often happens at the worst time during downturns, when prices are low and fear is high. That's why the order matters more than your stock picks, because order protects you from bad timing. Max learned this after selling during dips repeatedly, then watching markets recover weeks later without me. It felt like the universe hated me, but the truth was simpler. My foundation was missing steps. If this is hitting you, you're not behind. You're just being given the map most people never receive. Now let's talk about how to start if you're broke, overwhelmed, or embarrassed, because that's common too. Start with a tiny target. Save $50 a week or $20, anything that proves momentum exists. Then automate one bill payment or one transfer so your plan isn't dependent on motivation every day. The calmest wealth is built when your system runs quietly even while your emotions feel messy sometimes. If you have debt and no savings, do not chase investments first. Build the small buffer before attacking balances. That buffer prevents new debt when life happens, which is the hidden reason many payoff plans fail repeatedly. Then, once you have that starter cash, throw extra payments at the highest APR with steady weekly effort. If you have a 401k match, try splitting. Get the match while still paying high-interest debt aggressively. The match is often too valuable to ignore, but the debt is too toxic to leave untouched long-term. If you're overwhelmed, pick one move today. Find your APR because clarity turns fear into a plan. Write the APR on a sticky note because numbers stop feeling abstract when they're visible daily. Max avoided my APR for years because seeing it felt painful, but avoiding it cost far more. Once I faced it, I realized I wasn't bad with money, I was just bleeding quietly each month. Now, if you already have savings but invest randomly, the fix is simple. Reorder your priorities and automate. Decide a percentage for core investing and a percentage for safety, so both grow without competing emotionally. Your emergency fund can sit in a high-yield savings account because its job is safety, not performance. Your investments can be diversified index funds because their job is growth, not daily entertainment or ego. If you want a rule of thumb, many planners aim around 15% total saving, including employer contributions. But the exact number matters less than consistency because small, steady habits beat big bursts that disappear later. The market rewards time, not anxiety. So the goal is staying invested through boring months and scary months too. And the best way to stay invested is making sure your life doesn't force you out of positions. That's why this order works. It protects your behavior, not just your spreadsheet assumptions about returns. When your behavior is protected, compounding finally has space to do what everyone promises on social media. If this helped, gently tap like because it tells the algorithm calm advice matters more than hype today. Now let's address the trap of waiting until everything is perfect. Because perfection is another form of procrastination. You don't need perfect budgeting. You need a simple order you can follow even during messy months. Start with one automatic transfer to savings, then one automatic contribution to investing, and adjust slowly over time. If your income is variable, base your plan on the lowest reliable month, then treat extra as a bonus. That prevents lifestyle inflation from quietly eating every raise and turning success into constant stress again. Max's raises used to disappear into nicer rent and subscriptions, and my anxiety rose with my income. The fix wasn't earning more. The fix was building buffers and rules before upgrading my lifestyle ever again. Here's a simple rule. Upgrade life only after your emergency fund and retirement contributions are already rising automatically. That way, every raise improves your future first, then your present, instead of the reverse order. Another mistake is chasing hot investments as a shortcut, because shortcuts feel easier than fundamentals. But hot investments increase volatility, and volatility is dangerous when you don't have safety cash available. If you're tempted by crypto or options, ask, do I have 3 months' expenses saved fully right now? If not, you're borrowing emotional stability from your future, and the bill always arrives during downturns. People think risk is the price chart, but real risk is needing money at the wrong time suddenly. Once you accept that, you stop asking, what should I buy, and start asking, what order protects me? And protection isn't weakness, it's strategy, because winners stay in the game long enough to win. If you've been feeling behind, remember, one reordered month can change the next 5 years dramatically. Start tonight by finding your employer match policy, your credit card APR, and your current emergency fund number. Those 3 numbers tell you exactly which rung you're on and what your next move should be. And once you know your rung, stop comparing your timeline to people online because comparison creates expensive decisions. Let's do a quick real-life example so you can see how the order changes outcomes without complex math. Imagine you have $200 extra monthly, $3,000 credit card debt at 22%, APR, and no emergency savings today. Old approach, invest the $200, feel productive, then face a $600 car repair and swipe the card again. New approach, save $1,000 buffer first, then attack the 22% debt with that same $200 relentlessly. In the new approach, the car repair comes, you pay cash, and the debt balance doesn't grow again. That single difference prevents the spiral, and once debt is gone, your investing contributions finally stick. This is why order works. It blocks the cycle that keeps people investing while getting poorer in reality. Now, another example. You have a 401k match, stable job, and a small buffer already built. Your best move is often split. Take the full match while paying down any high-interest debt steadily. Once the toxic debt is gone, increase retirement contributions, then build your full emergency fund to 3 months. After that, Roth IRA or additional 401k contributions become powerful because your foundation won't collapse under stress. If you're thinking, I wish I knew this earlier, Max does too, but shame doesn't build wealth. What builds wealth is clarity, repetition, and compassion for your own learning curve as an adult. Your money plan should feel boring and reliable, like brushing your teeth, not like gambling for adrenaline. If your plan requires constant willpower, it will eventually fail during a hard week, a sick day, or grief. So design for real life. Automate, simplify, and put safety before risk so you can keep going. Here's the recap in one breath. Margin, starter buffer, match, kill high-interest debt, full emergency fund, core investing, optional risk. If you can only do one thing this week, build the starter buffer because it stops the bleeding fastest. Then, next week, set your match contribution because free money compounds while you sleep and work. And if you're already investing, don't quit. Just reorder because you're closer than you feel right now. Before we end, remember this video is not financial advice. It is a practical order map today for you. If your friends flex online, it does not mean they are safe. It means they are loud sometimes. Real safety is quiet cash, low debt, and automatic investing that runs even when you feel tired inside. Tonight, pause and write your next rung on paper, because clarity reduces anxiety immediately for you and your family. Rung check. Do you have $1,000 saved and can you reach it in 60 days alone? If not, set an automatic transfer of $20, then raise it every payday without thinking about it. If you have the buffer, open your benefits portal and confirm your employer match percentage this week now. Then look at your credit card APR, because that number is your biggest hidden enemy monthly right now. Paying 20% interest is like walking up an escalator that is moving down beneath you all day. Once high-interest debt is gone, your investing finally feels calm, because progress stops leaking away each month. Build your full emergency fund slowly and celebrate each milestone because stability is a form of wealth too. When that fund exists, market dips become opportunities, not threats. And you stop checking every hour daily anymore. After foundation, pick simple diversified funds, automate contributions, and let time do the heavy lifting for you quietly. If you want excitement, build it outside money because money should feel boring and dependable most days too. Optional risk comes last when you can lose without panic and still keep your life running smoothly today. If this order helped, share it with one person who is stressed, because kindness travels farther than tips. You are not sending them pressure, you are sending them a ladder, one rung at a time today. And if you want more calm money frameworks, subscribe, because we will keep building this together weekly from here. Comment your current rung number 1 through 7 so I can tailor the next video for you better. Remember, the goal is not to invest more, it is to never be forced out again by life. Max wishes someone had explained this order earlier because it would have saved years of stress and regret. But today you have the map, and you can start small, even if your situation feels heavy. If you only have $10, start there, because consistency trains your brain to trust progress again. Every rung you build reduces panic, and panic is what destroys portfolios faster than bad stock picks. If you slip, don't restart from shame. Just return to the next rung and continue calmly. Money change is rarely dramatic. It is quiet repetition, like the gym, until one day it feels easier. You deserve a plan that works even when life is messy, and even when you feel tired. If this video gave you relief, share it with someone you love, because relief is a real gift. Tell them, no pressure. But this helped me think clearly, and let them watch when ready. Sometimes a simple reorder is the difference between surviving a crisis and spiraling into debt again. Your future self will thank you for building safety first, because safety keeps compounding alive over decades. And if you know a friend struggling silently, send this video today as kindness, not criticism ever. Subscribe for more calm, practical frameworks that make money feel lighter and more controllable for you. Leave one comment. The next rung you'll take this week, so your plan becomes real, not abstract. Thanks for being here. Share this with someone who needs a ladder and help them breathe again tonight.